So Mumbai Indians win the inaugural WPL, and what a final! Bizarre initially, thrilling eventually, and perhaps a final that's worthy of a really fun tournament. You were lucky enough to be there throughout. We had to wait till you get back from the CCI. Yeah.
Well, Delhi tried to make it a quick finish initially in the first innings, but I'm glad that it came down to the wire and it was low scoring but an actual thriller where I think till the penultimate over you didn't actually know which team might win this, and this tournament needed that sort of a final.
Yeah, I just want to ask you more, did it feel like a final? I mean, it was packed, there was a lot of Mumbai. It worked out well that the home team was in the final and whatnot.
Yeah, that was perfect. In fact, your classic Mumbai chants that you hear often at the Wankhede, we could hear them all, including Sachin when he was showed on screen. So when it comes in terms of crowd atmosphere, 100 on 100. And if we do move ever to a home and away format, I think these crowds are going to have a massive advantage to the home team.
Yeah, just when we saw the first over, or the first few overs, we can't help but talk about most bizarre things to ever happen in a final. And Izzy Wong with 3 full tosses was just... Yeah. I think Delhi would have just gone like, what is going on today?
Like, the first full toss, that was the controversial one.
Yeah.
Shefali Verma, whether that was above her waist or not.
I thought they should have given that a no ball.
I don't think anyone would have complained if it had been given a no ball. Then the next two, and then you just sort of felt that, okay, this might be Mumbai's day. But there was another freaky moment when Harmanpreet got run out at the end. I wonder what was going after that World Cup semi-final for her to get run out again against Lanning's team. But she got past Lanning this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful little subplot going on there. Lanning versus Harmanpreet and India's national captain winning the first WPL. That's going to look very good in the photographs.
Yeah, and this actually, exceeded expectations. I like the fact that there were good crowds. Maybe in the middle it perhaps was dropped. It dropped for some of the weekday games or the afternoon games. But by and large, I think crowds were great, which makes it a pressure sort of situation to win games like this. The fact that Indian players will play eliminators and finals in high pressure situations and win them, I think it would make a huge difference to Harman going forward. Rather than Shikha Pandey, even though they end up on the losing side, that they can find their way, in a final game. I think that worked really well as well. So there's a lot to like about this year's tournament.
Word on Hayley Matthews though, the only West Indian in the tournament.
Yeah. And after Dottin couldn't get a medical certificate, says her franchise, and she says otherwise. But yeah, brilliant to think that she wasn't picked up at the auction initially and then came in later.
And then getting the purple cap on the final day. That
is on the final ball.
On the final ball
of a spell, yeah.
So that was, in fact, speaking of the purple cap, I have to talk about how of the top 5 wicket taker of the tournament, 4 belong to Mumbai Indians, and that says so much about the kind of tournament they've had. Feels fitting, that they are ultimate champions.
They are 3 of the top 5 run scorers as well. So like all in all, they built a squad that just has turned up and performed.
And it's a vindication of auction strategy, right? Because they barely had to change much, and surprisingly not a single Aussie in those 11s. You could see perhaps the Charlotte Edwards, Lydia Greenway influence. They backed Izzy Wong, who took us all by surprise. We weren't sure if she's going to be a sure starter, but what a tournament she's had.
And on Indian pitches, right? You sometimes wonder whether that sort of pace is going to work, but hat-trick and this...
And Nat Silverbrandt, you just can't... Perhaps, I mean, the only 2 games that she didn't get double figures were the ones that they lost. And she's had a terrific tournament. I think that last RCB game, she got 13, which was her lowest score. But outside of that, she's been such a big part of it. And when an overseas player goes for a lot of money, which Silverbrandt did, you tend to think of the price tag. We discussed this before too. But she's totally vindicated their
match-winning innings in both the knockouts, I think. So, she's definitely, I think it was 3.2 crore, she and Ashley Gardner. So, money well spent for Mumbai.
Yeah, get some more West Indians in, Hayley Matthews. We were discussing that she also has won in India before. So.
And she's possibly the only person on the park who had beaten Lanning in the final before in 2016 when she was 18 years old.
Yeah, we're just discussing that she's just 25 now. And she's been around a long time.
So that T20 World Cup final, this WPL final, both India losses for her and 1 WBBL in between. But Lanning still has the orange cap, so it's a tournament where she's shown once again, but just not as captain this time.
I must ask about Lanning though. You're telling us when those no balls were being given, especially Shefali's. Lanning was...
It did, there is this little... Lanning does not often come across as your typical Australian captain that we've seen, in cricket largely. But there was this element to her that came out today. 2 moments. One, that no ball call to the umpire, and then when she got run out, she was fuming. And Lanning is not known to show a lot of emotion. But the way she was behaving today just showed how much this meant, even though, it's just a league, it's in a different country. I think and that's what sets players like Lanning apart.
Yeah.
How about that interview that Saika
I
Ishaq
was
did?
just going to come to Saika. I was literally waiting to see if we have anything else.
Yeah.
So likable.
Yeah.
Right? And she's again one of those, along with Shriyanka Patil, you think, who have seriously made a case for a fast-tracked India call-up.
Yes.
Right? She's been so good, and just the character that she is.
Yeah.
It was one of the most enjoyable interviews I think we've seen.
So much energy, so much confidence.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Mumbai had a lot of that, even though they didn't get a lot of chances to play. Like Amanjot Kaur in the field, she didn't bat or bowl much, but her fielding itself,
Lanning's run out.
yeah, that stands out. Even one of the diving catches, Jintimani Kalita didn't play much, but again had a these are players you'll remember even after the WPL's done.
Yeah, which again is I'll credit the auction and the scouting, which MI have built a reputation for themselves in the men's game over in the IPL over the years. So they've clearly put in the resources there. Saika Ishaq was a terrific pickup. Amanjot Kaur was terrific. We were wondering whether they've gone too much for Yastika and by Vastrakar, but they just both did their role superbly. So well done to MI, who've shown the experience of a title-winning
So it's a
side.
blueprint for next year.
Yeah, I'll miss it. Yeah, it's over. I think it was a really nice tournament. It was quick, good games. I'd love a super over or two, but
Maybe today in the final.
nothing else that I think we'll remember this very fondly. We tend to remember first editions well if you have a good final. Like you go back to 2008 in the first IPL, and WPL's got a better trophy. So
Yeah, really good-looking trophy. Yeah.
And India's captain lifting it, I add again.
All right, so this has been a special show that we've done. So Zeena's been a big part of it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and more from us very soon.